Ladd McConkey, the 34th overall pick by the Los Angeles Chargers.
He surprised you. You saw him play well in college, but you would have never said, hey, he will impact the league this way.
Everybody I talked to was like, this is a dude.
How about Ladd?
Ladd is slicing and dicing his defenders up with really good routes and understanding his role in the offense.
Touchdown, McConkey.
He just can play, bro. I'm just telling you. Just flat out can ball.
All right, here at 89, the rookie report cards continue. We're going with Ladd McConkey. There's been people in the comments, Steve, going, when are you guys going to break down Ladd? When are you guys going to break down Ladd? Well, now it's time. We're breaking down Ladd McConkey, the 34th overall pick by the Los Angeles Chargers. He is forever going to be linked to the Patriots, though, as they traded with the Chargers, and the Chargers move up to 34. Patriots go down to 37. Chargers get Ladd McConkey. Patriots get Jalen Polk, and these two receivers are spending their rookie season being compared to one another. But Ladd McConkey had an outstanding rookie season. 10th in the NFL in yards, 1,149. 19th in catches with 82, tied with Terry McLaurin, who I also believe had a pretty good year.
Scary Terry.
But was 26th in targets, Steve, because this was a run-first team. So he put these numbers up by being 26th in the NFL in targets, 7 touchdowns, also 52 first downs, which is something I want to get into. But one of the things that was said this season, and we've talked about it a couple of times, is Jim Harbaugh comes out and says, this Ladd McConkey guy reminds me of Steve Smith Sr.
He reminds me of Steve Smith in the way that when he goes up for one of those contested balls, it's like they both had this ability and this skill to like almost look one way and then catch it just a few feet the other way.
Well, I do want to say this, Steve. I was standing on the sideline of a Chiefs game this year, and I was talking to my good buddy Brendan Daly, who's their linebackers coach, was a D-line coach with the Patriots for a long time for Bill Belichick. And I said that to him, and he goes, we played Steve. We played Steve a lot. Ladd McConkey is not Steve Smith Sr. He is not as physical, and his physical presence is just not there the way Steve's is on the field. But there were some things about Ladd's game, I guess, that Harbaugh liked and compared to yours. What's your take on that and Ladd's rookie season?
My take on Ladd is he's being compared to me. You asked me a couple of years ago, I would have had something to say.
Yeah.
You asked me today, I bask in the honor of being mentioned with a player today that's balling. I like Ladd. I liked him in college at University of Georgia. I am getting to know him personally, and hearing his story is really cool. Understanding that this is a kid who Kirby Smart and the gang saw him at a camp and offered him. He was going to go Division II, Division III. He didn't have a lot of offers.
Why?
I don't know exactly where he's from in Georgia, but he's from a little small town and just didn't get a lot of exposure, right? Size, appearance does matter to people. And he just didn't see it. When you look at him, Ladd walks through the door, and then right behind him comes A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. Who you think is the baller?
Well, that's why we're excited for the Underwear Olympics here. At this combine.
You know what I mean? But it's the eye test. And what you can evaluate is circumstances and situations and guys' heart and their mental fortitude. And Ladd is a guy, he was always on the depth chart. He was always at the bottom, but he kept staying diligent. As all these guys at Georgia played and left, he just stayed persistent. They're running the football, they're doing a lot of play action, and Ladd is slicing and dicing his defenders up with really good routes, really good releases, and understanding his role in the offense. And not a lot of people understanding their role in the offense, especially a young rookie, let alone veterans. We've heard veterans in the middle of the season. Teams have mutually parted ways because of what they were told when they were acquired and what's going on once the season starts sometimes doesn't align, and so that leads to a little bit of friction, and so that at times can be problematic.
Everybody I talked to was like, this is a dude. Like, that was like the first thing out of their mouth was just like, I love Ladd. And I think it's because of the way he plays. I think it's twofold. And I think this is the interesting part. Everybody I talked about Steve, his football IQ, his understanding of leverage, his understanding of space. He's patient with his route running, catches ball in traffic, does everything you need to do to be a good receiver. But the part on top of it were, like, he's not relying on all of that. Like, he's still an athlete. Like, he is a sub 4.4 guy. He understands how to use his body quickness, how to use his body strength, doesn't get knocked off the ball a ton. These are all things that I was being told by going, like, he has kind of both things. Sometimes you could just say this type of player is the savvy player and using his football IQ and space and things like that to get open. But he has the athletic ability and that side of it as well to make him a pretty complete wide receiver. And so one of the grades I want to give him is his kind of star factor. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. But you mentioned this was a run-first team, and then all the backs end up getting hurt. And what happened the second half of the year? He was their passing offense. Like, he essentially was that. I don't think that was the plan at the start of the year. You know, we heard Harbaugh saying that.
That's not the start of. That's not the start of the year. One little nugget too. In college, 70% of his work was on the outside. He was only below 30% of playing in the slot. So people have to understand 485 of his work in college out of 39 games. So he did a lot of things outside that you would not expect when you talk about University of Georgia, the type of receivers that have come out of there. And now you have to say Ladd is one of those guys that he surprised you. Like, you saw him play well in college, but you would have never said, hey, he will impact the league this way, especially first day on the job.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving him an A for star factor, because essentially he was the passing offense for a team that made the postseason.
And your first-round draft pick and your second-round draft pick the year after has 1,000 yards, and your first-round draft pick didn't. You know, that just says something. But I would say that if with Ladd playing the way he's playing, you give Johnson an opportunity to continue to take some pressure off himself, and he can start to now kind of fall into place and be okay where his role is in his offense. I think this can be really a great combination.
Okay. Let's get into the film, and as we get into it, Steve, I want to tell you this. I had a pro personnel guy tell me he's the best pure route runner in this group, and his transition from catching the ball to making something happen is outstanding.
Okay.
Let's see what you got. This episode of 89 is brought to you by BetterHelp. You know, in football, you have a support system, right? Whether it's your coaches, your trainers, or your teammates to help you kind of succeed. But what about you? What about off the field and making yourself the best version of yourself? Well, BetterHelp can help you do that. I know oftentimes we're playing hero ball, right? We're going at it all by ourselves. We got to do it alone. But when you talk to a therapist, you have an opportunity to alleviate that. And we're not just talking about major trauma. We're talking about coping with a variety of things, whether it's relationship issues, just overall stress, just creating the best environment for you to be the best version of yourself. And BetterHelp can help you do that. Now, the best thing about it is BetterHelp is 100% online, so it is both affordable and convenient. With over 5 million people participating worldwide, well, you know you're in good hands. So build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/89 and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/89.
So you got to come back. He stems it outside, gets the corner going, catches it, attacks the football. Now, while he's jumping a little bit because he doesn't know how close the defender is, and so that's a little bit of antsiness. But he doesn't jump and catch the ball with his body. He jumps up and towards the football, which for me, that's an antsy receiver. I don't have a problem with an antsy receiver because he's telling me that he knows in his route running clock, I gotta go. Give me the ball, give me the ball. For me, for a receiver, that's like a tick, right? That's something you got going on because you just antsy. Runs, keeps his head down, crosses his face, crosses over, ball is thrown a little bit behind him, secures the catch. It's good play. You know? Run that back. Look at that. So look, he sees the defender coming over late. So he doesn't rush. He actually allows the defender to come towards him and says, all right, I know this defender is coming over late. So if he's coming over late, what can I do to make him open up and do something that he doesn't want to do is he doesn't want to get beat running outside. So he gives him a move that allow him to believe he's going outside, and then does a great job, man. That's just skills, understanding the why. Getting in the back hip and disappearing out of the wake of the corner, which gets the corner to completely turn and run and start to feel and gets back. So it's a great route.
Getting lost like that, is that common for rookies to know how to feel that or understand that? I mean, good ones.
Is it common for a rookie?
Yeah.
You know, there's some guys who've been in the league 5 or 6 years that are still trying to master that, still trying to figure that out. That's to say that this rookie is well advanced beyond his young years. He's a real route runner. This is a great hands catch and understanding. I'm gonna get hit, but I have to look at the ball and protect myself at the same time. That's a man's catch. Rewind it. So let's look up top as well. Look at Johnson. Gives the corner. And these are really good corners. And I'm using this as not creating good free access, just trying to outrun your guy. And when you try to outrun your guy and you got a corner who's very patient, who has his narrow stance, you're trying to sell him something and he's not buying.
Yeah, he didn't get anywhere outside himself.
And so what Ladd does at the bottom is he catches the corner communicating, understanding that his zone coverage, and he goes immediately to his spot that he knows that the corner, it has to get back. Now, he starts to what we call drift, but he's drifting with the knowledge of understanding its zone coverage. So that's very smart. Just looking at two different things on one play of why a guy is getting the ball and why a guy is not getting the ball. They're doubling safety over the top, so he can't get the football. But if you cleanly beat your guy and stack him, now your quarterback's looking, but now you haven't stacked him, so now the quarterback sees, okay, he doesn't win immediately, like he does. Now I have the option. I got the underneath route. I could take it for a possible first down, but then I got I got the linebacker or the DN dropping back into coverage, so that's a possibility that he can intercept the football. Or I got Ladd, who's making himself available and getting friendly to the quarterback. There's a defender there, but he keeps sliding to get out of the prying hands of the defender so the ball can be delivered to the open spot. Just getting open, staying active. Johnson does a good job up top. He's fighting through it. Ladd is he keeps going too, makes himself available. That's one of the things you could do, man. When you keep moving with your quarterback, and I would imagine, they have some kind of silent but audible as Ladd is running those routes that he's saying out loud or making a gesture to the quarterback to know. When I was coming underneath, I would go yee yee, and yee yee. That's kind of a hood term. That's over there like the yee yee. Popo's coming, right? So I'm running underneath going yee yee, and he knows, my quarterback knows, hey, that's my dog. All right, and so because I was a shorter receiver, I had to make myself audible so he can find me coming out of the trail, and so that's some of the little nuances that go on, getting on the same page with your quarterback. Now, here's the thing that I really love about this play. Go back in the beginning. He gives a little slip release because he's anticipating that end is trying to slow down the tight end who's in the flex position. But Ladd understands that he's a possibility of getting slowed down too. So he gives him a little chicken wing so he can still go, which then he runs his zone, keeps himself friendly and gets up the field.
Gets himself
Really
behind
good
linebackers, Steve.
Yes. Good player, man. Just good player. Smart. Gets held up a little bit, but zone coverage, we call that a seam.
But he goes from catching this ball to being a runner real quick, Steve. Like he takes off in his first step after he catches the ball.
So you got the outside guy widening out the corner. You got the inside guy, Ladd, he's running, widens out, gets to the numbers, and then makes himself skinny back in there. See, catches the ball with his hands, but what does he do? He's jumping because he's anticipating getting hit. Okay, next play. He just can play, bro. I'm just telling you. Just flat out can ball. What do I have to say about that? In 50 states and in multiple countries, that's offensive pass interference.
The same thing. You had 197 in this game, Steve. NFL rookie record for a playoff game.
Look at that. Oh, that's crazy. It's just great football player, man.
Now I get what I'm being told is that, like, his ability to catch the ball and just go immediately, the transition from pass catcher to runner is quick.
That boy can play. He can play, man. He can play, man. He can play, man. I like it.
Man. So I did want to say this. Is there a chance he could make the biggest jump from year 1 to year 2 out of this entire group? And I'm looking at it for a couple of reasons because it's tough. There's a lot of great receivers out of this group, but think about the way the year started. His quarterback missed most of camp. You know, Justin Herbert had the foot issue. He doesn't really get going in the early portion of the season. Now a full offseason with a quarterback like Justin Herbert, and that's the part I'm talking about. His situation's great. Probably him and Xavier Worthy have the 2 best quarterbacks out of anybody out of this group. So they're already in a really, really good spot with where they're at with the quarterback he has. So I think that plays a part in maybe the jump he makes. So I wanted to ask you, what does he have to do personally? Does he put on some muscle? I know some teams had some questions about durability. That was some of the knocks that some teams were concerned about. Like, what does he have to do to help this kind of jump? Because he is the guy for their entire passing offense right now. So what does he do? Because I think there is a chance you could see a whole another side of him, Steve, because what did we see as the year went on? The go balls started happening. The deep balls started happening. That allowed him to be even better in the intermediate stuff when you got to respect him going deep. So they're setting it up, it seems like, for him to make a jump. What does he have to do?
I don't believe that Ladd has to do anything to make the next jump.
Okay.
He just continue to do what he's doing, which is learning how to play in the National Football League, get more familiar and more comfortable in the Jim Harbaugh type of football that they're going to have. Now, what you hope that the Chargers do is continue to add more playmakers on that roster, continue to get a good running game going, have some stability at the quarterback, you know, if Justin Herbert is hurt, or have some answers. But then also, too, have enough different flavors, you know, of what type of receivers you're going to have attacking the defense. Along with Ladd, you know what he can do in the slot outside. He's a very precise route runner, good yak. But then now getting Johnson to continue to play consistently, catching the football, getting that confidence, and then having, I would say, this year's draft is a little bit known for tight ends. Having that tight end that possibly can help you in the run game and in the pass game as well, because now you have to, the more playmakers you have on offense, the more that the defense has to commit bodies to slowing those guys down. So if you got a good running game, when you know John Harbaugh, he's going to run the football. Now you got a tight end. Now you got Ladd, and then Johnson is doing his thing. All of a sudden, you got 3 solid, dependable, dangerous pass catchers, a dynamic run game, and then you know how the defense is going to be. They're going to be physical. They got some young corners that they got in the 5th round that are going to continue to get better. So,
yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit. He doesn't need to add. I think he's naturally going to add weight and muscle because now he has a full year of being a professional.
A full NFL,
not a full
NFL offseason.
A full NFL offseason of becoming a professional versus he had a half of a year to learn how to play in the National Football League and then now interview with all these teams. Can I play on your team? And that's what the combine is. The combine is interview process and applications and character witnesses and all that stuff to say, hey, this is who I am. and then the team goes, okay, we like what we saw. The background check works out. Now let's get him in our building and see what he can do. He does well. Okay, let's see him in real life situations. And then all of a sudden you have a guy who's got a rookie record for your franchise. So it's a long process, but when you have a good player, it makes it really easy for you the next year, because now you can mark off. We don't have to worry about this position out of our 53 because we have our quarterback, we got our wide receiver, we got our 2 corners. So there's things that you can mark off.
Yeah.
That makes it now you narrow down and you go into the draft with a singular focus of improving your team in a way that some of the other teams don't have the luxury.
Yeah. My last note on Ladd, and this just popped into my head because I had this conversation with Justin Reed, who's a very good safety in this league with the Chiefs. And he told me when we went in to play the Chargers, Ladd was our game plan. That was our game plan. We were going to double him constantly. We were going to try to show him different looks. We had an unbelievable amount of respect for him. Really, the whole focus that Spags had for the week was stopping Ladd. And that's a rookie wide receiver, and that's one of the better defenses in football. And he was their focus the entire week in terms of game planning to stop the Chargers. Impressive rookie year for Ladd McConkey.
Very much so. Potential to me has to be a B, because some of the potential doesn't necessarily fall on him. He has to have a supporting cast and also have another good year in his route running to be able to continue to add to that. Route running is an A.
Overall grade, Steve?
Overall grade for me has to be an A.
Fact.
Extremely impressive for a receiver to have the dynamic impact he's had on a run-first team. Man, that's grade A beef right there.
It is, man. And trust he gained with Herbert, A. That quickly when your quarterback trusts you, and now you're the guy.